And now something completely different.
Good afternoon. I'm speaking to you live just outside
I like to think balding is just God's way of saying, now let's see you get laid.
Is it true that if you don't use it, you lose it?
What I'd really like to do is put the greatness of this man in perspective.
The hair loss community has a lot to be thankful for, having you as a spokesperson.
You mean you just call this guy up?
About life and about reality.
And now, America's #1 reality radio show for men. Live from Los Angeles, it's Spencer Kobren's The Bald Truth.
Hey guys, welcome to the show. Phone number, we are back with the regular phone number tonight, 888-659-3727. That's 888-659-3727. Phone lines are open and hopefully they're working. It's so great to be here on a Tuesday night. This is our first Tuesday night broadcast. Obviously, we're no longer on Sunday nights, and we got the green light to do a primetime show, which is absolutely amazing to me. And I want to thank all of my listeners and viewers who have been hanging out, watching and listening to The Bald Truth for the last 14 years. It's insane that I've been on the air this long, but like I always tell people, this is the little hair loss show that could. We've been on countless stations across the country, XM satellite radio, it's syndicated now across the world through the GFQ network and on online sources like Stitcher Radio and iTunes and Stickam and Ustream and Justin TV and every online internet broadcasting resource and live streaming resource on the internet. So really proud of where we've come and where we've come from and how far we've evolved over the years. I still can't speak though, but that's my thing. And I just wanted to thank all of you guys. I know this is basically 4th of July weekend, even though it's not a weekend, but everyone is out getting drunk tonight and I'm starting already, which is, that's my issue. And, but no matter what you're doing, no matter where you are, no matter who you're with, if you are dealing with hair loss, it is something, sadly, that might be on your mind. Let me see if I can answer this call. I got it. Now, I have this incredible new phone system. All right. But it's a lot different. And it takes a little bit more finesse, and I'm going to have to be, watching the phones and kind of, really knowing what's going on to answer these calls, because it's kind of like a trick to answering and putting on hold. But it's an amazing system, and I'm really happy with it, and we'll talk more about it later. But let's get back to what I was saying as far as you guys dealing with a holiday and dealing with hair loss, no matter where you are. You're thinking about it. You're worried about it. And I don't care who you are. I don't care how long you've been dealing with hair loss. It's affected you. Whether you're new, whether it's the first year of your life that you're dealing with hair loss or you've been dealing with it for 30 years. It may not be affecting you as badly as it once did, but there are plenty of guys who have never come to grips with the idea of losing their hair. It sucks, man. It fucking sucks. What am I going to say? There's nothing that I can say to sugarcoat it. But if you're just tuning in, I don't even know why this is happening right here. But if you're just tuning in and you've never seen this program, you've never listened to this program, you're looking at me saying, this guy's got hair in his head. Let me tell you, this is a quasi-sham. I've been dealing with hair loss since the age of 21. I'm 47 years old, and excuse me, while I feel extremely fortunate that I have saved a lot of my hair, I have to paint the back of my head to make it look as full as it does now. I have to use a can of hairspray. I probably have a hole right over my house in the ozone. They're going to come and get me because of all the hairspray that I use. But with all that, I still feel extremely fortunate that I've been able to save the hair and make the right moves and live my life the way that I live. And, look, what I try to do on this program, what I've been doing for all these years, is just to try to guide you guys in a safe direction. Nothing's perfect out there. I know how this takes a toll on you guys emotionally, especially you young guys. Don't think I don't read Bald Truth Talk message forums, because I do. Usually when I have time on the weekend, I will read through the entire weeks of interesting threads. And there's so many hundreds of posts a day right now that it's almost impossible. It is impossible for me to read everything. But I see how you guys are suffering. And I want you to know that this is a safe place for you guys to come and talk and to vent and to learn and to share and to know that you're not alone. That's what we're here for. We want to guide you in a safe direction and let you learn from each other and know that there's real help out there. There are people out there that can really do something about their hair loss, but not everyone can get help. Sometimes your genetics are just too strong. No matter what you do, medication's not going to work for you. You may not be a candidate for a surgical hair restoration. Someone keeps hanging up. See if that works. You may not be a candidate for surgical hair restoration. You may not even be a candidate to wear a hairpiece. You may be destined to be a full-blown Norwood, never coming back. But those are less, a relatively small percentage of guys who are dealing with hair loss are in that category. Most of you will have, the ability to do something. But it's not perfect, and you need to know that. Anyway, this is your safe place to get completely objective information, to talk, to learn, to share, to hang out with us, and talk about a subject that society doesn't allow us to talk about. I mean, like tonight, it looks like I got a hair frisbee on my head. I don't even know what's happening. I tried to do it right, and it just didn't work out. And I know a lot of you guys are looking at yourself right now. You may be sitting in front of your computer. You may be, on your smartphone. You may be, hanging out in front of your bathroom mirror, looking at yourself while you're listening to this broadcast and saying, what the fuck do? I don't want to look like this. I'm unhappy with the way that my hair looks, and my family and my friends and my girlfriend and my brother, they don't understand. They say it's no big deal. Well, I'm here to tell you that it is a big deal. And fuck them. I don't care what these people say, because if it was happening to them, they would realize that it's a big deal. 888-659-3727. I'm going to take a phone call. Let's see if we can make this thing work. Hey, you're on the air. Who's this?
Hey, Spencer.
Who's this?
George.
George, what's happening, man? It sounds like you are in either like the bottom of a pool or maybe hanging out in your bathtub ready to slit your wrist. And I hope that's not the case. I hope it's not the latter.
I sound like I'm in a bathtub?
You sound like you are hunkered down in your bathroom.
Actually, I am.
Oh, you know what? I just hung up on the guy. Sorry, George. Call back. I'm getting used to this phone. What do you want from me, guys? 888-659-3727. Hey, you're on the air. Who's this?
Yeah, I'm glad you hang up on that cat because he's no information to offer. I'm coming back from the hospital.
What's going on?
I'm on the Staten Island ferry. Accessoritis dropped me off. I have a diagnosis of a possible pancreatic cancer. Guess what? I don't care. I'm more interested in the L'Oreal news and the Allergan news. Fuck it all, man. Anyone who castigates me for worrying about disease, fuck them all, man. You know what? They can go right to hell. How you doing, my friend?
My name is
Joe from Staten Island.
My name is excuse me. My name is
Would you like to may I reiterate it?
My name is
Have you heard it? Excuse me.
My name is
Joe from Staten Island.
Joe, what the fuck are you talking about? What do you mean you may have
I'm
pancreatic
very
cancer?
agitated. I've had several drinks in me, several pharmaceuticals, and you know what? I'm so angry about it. My detractors, I've had it, Spencer. I've really had it.
What all right, I want to backtrack here, and I'm sorry that I may seem preoccupied because I'm trying to answer my phones here, and it's a whole new system. But
I understand that.
But tell me about your diagnosis because you're scaring me, dude.
Well, I possibly have pancreatic cancer. The doctor says you don't seem that worried. I said, Doc, I have more pressing problems than that.
But what do you mean you possibly have pancreatic cancer? How is it I mean, what are they? What's going on? What were you feeling?
For the effects of 9/11, I have multiple cysts in my pancreas. I don't care. I'm more interested in L'Oreal and more interested in allergy developments than that. I told my doctor that. He goes, "What are you talking about, man?"
All right, you have cysts on your pancreas. Please, let's get back to this. Let's get back to your health, bro.
It's not important, man. Let's go back to the L'Oreal news, man.
No, it's important to me, Joe.
I appreciate that.
So. All right, so I want to talk about this for a second. Then you can get to the L'Oreal news. What's going on with you?
Well, as a first responder to 9/11, I'm suffering from multiple disorders, and I have multiple cysts in my pancreas. They believe it's cancer. So the doctor delivered his news to me. He said, "Dude, you don't seem the least bit nervous." I said, "Doc, I'm more worried about my other problems than that." And this cat was a 0-7 with no darn hair.
Well, how long were you involved? I mean, I know you were a first responder, but how long were you down there? How many days or weeks were you down there?
3 months, my friend.
3 months, every day.
Yes, every day.
Wow. Well, you're a real hero, Joe. People don't know that about you. They think of you as Joe from Staten Island, the guy that is hyper obsessed about his hair loss, the guy that has all kinds of mental issues and is on, constantly medicated. But you're an American hero, man.
Well, I appreciate it. So you, Spencer, you almost killed you and your lovely wife. Almost killed that there. I remember that, and I'm horrified by that till this day.
Well, yes, but the only people that I saved were myself and my animals, and actually my common law basically saved my life. She came back to make sure she fought her way back downtown to make sure that I was okay, and she put herself in harm's way. Think about that.
Well, I appreciate that. I'm glad your hair was. You took a shower, clean your hair before you went out into the dust, and that was very heroic on your part. I have to say that.
I had actually admitted that in a couple.
I don't mean that in a nasty way.
No, I know that. I'm saying, but you bring that up. I actually admitted that in a couple of interviews, and also I was interviewed for this book, Never Forget, and I wrote about it. I talked about that, and I talked about it. I think it was in the Times and some other newspapers and a couple of magazines, and the shit that I would get online for admitting that when people would read that. It was unbelievable, But that's part of me. That's what I do. That's who I am, I was concerned about that. I chose to wash my hair before I left the house, just in case there were any cameras around. I know that sounds insane.
I'm sorry,
but honestly, if I felt that I was truly in harm's way and I had no time, I would have just thrown on the hat and just done it. Now, obviously, I was in harm's way, but I was told that I wasn't by the city government and, what was happening on the television. I'm like a 100-year-old guy. But, I get so much shit for that. People are still like, that's a joke, right? I remember my brother's friends, they read something in the Washington Post about that.
You did, Brother Allen. God bless him.
Yeah, and I just got so much shit. But anyway, so go ahead, Joe. Listen, I'm sorry. I hope that there's no cancer diagnosis. I hope you just have some cysts.
I saw lifeless bodies in front of me. I saw body parts and limbs. My biggest concern was my bandage was properly fixed and my hat was on at all times. That was my biggest concern because a lot of wind down there. It's by the water.
It's windy. Living down there was not easy for me. Let me tell you.
Well, that was my biggest concern. I saw death in front of me. It didn't even faze me. My biggest concern was my hat was properly fixed and my bandage was fixed.
Well, I'm glad that everything was hooked up for you. And listen, I hope that you just have some cysts on your pancreas. And God, we need you here at the Bald Truth. And on a personal level, I don't want anything to happen to you, Joe.
But Spencer, I'm trying to make a point to millions of listeners right now. I'm at the least bit concerned. My biggest concern is the L'Oreal news and the allergen news. This is what I'm concerned about.
Give us the news, bro.
Well, L'Oreal, there's a lot of, I've dissected the report out of the European Hair Restoration Society. I'm not saying it works, but there's a lot of science behind it. I don't know if you dissected what Dr. Bruno has said. These guys are,
Well,
there's a lot of science behind it.
That's what you're here for. So why don't you tell us what you know about it, and then I can give you my 2 cents.
They're claiming their product is directly involved with hypoxia, the oxygen deprivation of stem cells.
Right.
Okay, I understand it works or doesn't work. What I'm giving them credit for is they're laughing at FDA. They do whatever they want. They put the product right on the market. Histogen, Allergan, and then not Allergan, excuse me. Histogen, Folliker, Reposel. Don't worry about the FDA. The hell with the FDA. Put on it as a cosmetic. Make billions. Who cares about the FDA? Put it on the market tomorrow.
Well, look, I'm not going to hold my breath with the L'Oreal product. I hope that it does some good.
Yeah,
there's definitely, and you're right, there's definitely some science behind it. And listen, there's real scientists working for L'Oreal. And there's been real scientists working for L'Oreal, working towards an effective treatment for hair loss for many years, for well over a decade that I'm aware of. That doesn't mean that
George Cosrell's involved with this. I should probably know.
I do know that, but also know that Dr. Costralis is involved. You know, he's kind of starting to get involved with more. How can I say this delicately? He's starting to spread himself a little thinner. You know, because a lot of these companies now want to attach themselves to Dr. Costralis. Which which I understand. So, you know, I'm sure there are some interesting, dealings going on, and I'm sure that he wouldn't attach himself to a product like that unless he felt there was some merit. But it doesn't necessarily mean just because he's part of it that it's going to be effective. You know where I'm coming from?
No, I understand. The point I'm trying to make is they're laughing at the FDA. If whatever they want in the market, they're making millions. Meanwhile, Histogen, Folliker, Allergan, they're fooling around with the FDA. Why play games with these people? Put it out on the market. The FDA does not control the world.
That's true.
I'm very agitated, I'm sorry. I'm very agitated. I'm sorry.
Well, I would be agitated as well if I came back from the doctor and found out that I have cysts on my pancreas. That doesn't seem to be what's agitating you, though.
No, it's not. I care less about that. What's agitating me is that L'Oreal has a product on the market in September, and these other so-called companies are still playing with the microscopes.
All right. Well, so that's the good news, though. Their product is geared to be on the market in September. Wonderful. If we see that it's working for people and helping people, we're closer. You know, we're that much closer to less people dealing with this issue. Right?
Yes, and Allergan will be releasing phase 2 studies. I'm sorry, I'm slightly intoxicated. Phase 2 studies in September.
Where are you now? Where are you? At Gallagher's? Where are you?
No, I'm on the ferry. The excessive right dropped me off at the ferry. They had mechanical problems. They couldn't drive me to Staten Island.
I'm going to tell you guys something right now. I have a new Telos hybrid, and I will say that at least in my studio, this thing is head and shoulders, I think I'm drunk, above what I had before, the Comrex system. This is an amazing piece of equipment. It's a little complicated, I will tell you this. You know, getting it together and setting it up and, working with this this phone service it's a little different for me. It's a lot more complicated. However, the sound quality is unbelievable, Joe. You sound amazing.
I appreciate that. I'm actually mobile on the Staten Island ferry, which is not the best receptive. People are staring at me now, wondering who I am.
I will tell you that this is probably the best reception. This is the best sounding call that we've ever had from you since I've built a studio in my home.
And I'm live from the Staten Island ferry.
That's unbelievable, bro.
Well, I want to congratulate you on the christening of your new primetime show. Millions of listeners right now.
I appreciate that. I think it's going to take a little time to build up some momentum on a Tuesday night, but I do know that a lot of people, more than I expected, actually sent me wonderful well wishes that we were moving to prime time, and I really appreciate that, guys. And if it wasn't for you guys, look, it only took 14 years. It only took 14 years until I was able to get on a Tuesday night, on a weeknight. Think about
that. But you were on Thursday night years ago.
I was on Thursday night, though. They gave me a half an hour, and then they ripped it away from me and put me back on Sunday.
Yes. Well, you're on prime time. I want to congratulate you. As you know, I rushed out of the doctor's office. I rushed to the hospital because I knew I had to be on the air. When I catch George, I don't want to castigate him. but I'm glad that he lost reception because I want to be the first caller.
Well, and I appreciate that. And this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to attempt to hold your call, and I'm going to pot George up if this is him. So hold on, all right?
Okay, man. Congratulations, man. And the best. You are a real bench, my friend. I love you, man.
All right, man. Same to you.
God bless you, man. You are the greatest. You are a great American, my friend.
Jesus Christ. You're all right, man. I appreciate that, but you sound really... I mean, are you sure that the health news didn't affect you at all?
No, I'm in several pharmaceutical agents and several... I stopped the Gallagher's before I got on board. After the news.
I'm going to try to pot both of you guys up.
I don't care.
All right, I'm going to put your...
If you lose me, I'll call back if you don't mind.
I'm going to lock your call, so let's see what I can do.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Hey, you're on the air with Joe and Spencer. How are you, man? Who's this?
Hey, it's George. I don't know what happened, man. Your new phone system may sound great, but I think it dumped me.
No, it didn't dump you. I dumped you accidentally because I still don't know how to work all of these buttons.
Hey, it happens. I'm still learning how to use this damn iPhone thing. I'm really concerned about Joe and his diagnosis. Let's just pray it's just benign cysts and not something more serious.
Yeah, I know. I have a feeling Joe's going to have a long, miserable life. So I don't think he's going anywhere. Right, Joe?
And what was he gonna? Was he saying he was going to castigate me or castrate me or something? What was the deal there?
He's going to castigate you. That's his line.
For what?
I don't know.
What did I do?
Of course, I think you were going to say you have no news to bring to the table. News to break every minute, George. But I'm sure you have nothing to bring to the table. I'm in a bad mood, so I have to tell you that. I'm sorry, George.
Joe, I'm depending on you to bring the news, brother. I'm just hanging on by a thread. And that's why I come here every week, man. I'm come here, always make sure I'm there for the beginning of the show to hear your news segment, okay? And I put up with all these little punks in the chat room with their jibs and jabs at me and all their bullshit because I want to come hear Joe's news segment. So don't castigate me. I'm here to support what you're bringing to us, man.
Dude, why?
George, I'm sorry. I'm in a very agitated mood tonight, George. I'm sorry.
One thing, George, is, and this is what I find interesting. You can't worry about the guys in the chat room, man. You know, I mean, you have this monicum of fame because of this little hair loss show, and these guys are going to give you shit. That's what they do. Just deal with it. It's not a big deal.
Sophomoric, though. It's so sophomoric. It's like a bunch of high school kids in study hall cutting up or something.
Well, what do you think? Listen, what do you think people do on the internet? That's what it's all about. You ever read my message forum? It's insane.
I didn't actually get a chance to welcome you to Tuesday night. I think I was your first caller. I think Joe was mad because he wanted to be the first caller. I wasn't trying to.
I'm wondering if Joe actually somehow I wonder if he somehow remotely hung up on you. That's what I'm thinking.
I don't know, man. That's a distinct possibility, but I think this is going to be a good move for you. I'm excited about this for you, about your new phone system.
Well, thanks, man.
Hoping that we're going to have some major breakthroughs.
Are you online right now? Can you see the size of this phone?
No, I'm not online right now. I had my hands full. So
it's fucking insane. It's like I'm about to launch some sort of a missile from this thing.
So what is this? A phone you're talking about that you're holding, or is it on your head, or what?
No, it's not on my head, George. It's actually on my desk.
So you've got a headset on, and it's hooked into this phone on your desk. It's huge.
Yeah, it's. I don't have a headset on. No, this is my phone system for the radio show. And since I do all my own call screening, the actual handset, the body, the phone itself, the work surface has to stay on my desk. Now, I had a Comrex stack system before, which had a much sleeker, handset and phone, system. It's called something, but I forgot what it's called. But I will say this. I love this Telo system. I love the size of this thing. I think it's really substantial and important looking. And I feel like I'm back in a, like Westwood One.
Like in a real professional commercial studio. Huh?
That's right.
Well, that's fantastic.
And I want to thank the people. I want to thank the people from Telus for sending it to me so quickly. I mean, they shipped this out. I contacted them. I said, "Listen, I got to get this thing ASAP," and they were on it, man. So it was really great.
Well, glad you got your new system working. Was Andrew of any contribution to any of this stuff?
What does Andrew do? He sits in his house in Queens and just makes money. That's all he does.
Oh my God!
Now Andrew's always a contribution to everything, man. I mean, these guys. What Andrew has done, I believe, for the Bald Truth is significant, and I think that he doesn't get enough credit. I mean, obviously, I do the program, and this is my thing, but I would never have this quality of video that I have right now if it wasn't for Andrew Zarian.
Well, he and Suncast, I know, have been a big help.
Oh my God, Suncast does all the heavy lifting. I mean, Andrew Zarian would not be Andrew Zarian if it wasn't for Suncast.
Yeah, Suncast is like the unsung hero. Nobody ever sees him or hears his voice, but he's there.
He's the backbone of this whole goddamn operation.
Like the Wizard of Oz back there making stuff happen.
I think Andrew, give this guy a raise. Will you do that for me? All right, George. Listen, I appreciate the call. Are you watching, or do you need to stay on hold?
Put me on hold. I'm not online right now, but.
All right.
Let's pray let's pray for our friend Joe for his health. Let's pray we have some major breakthroughs before the end of the year on the hair loss front. When are you going to get that Cristiano chick on there, the scientist woman? When are you going to have her on?
You know what? I'm going to have her on soon. I actually have to contact her. I had a guy that sent me a lot of stuff, a lot of information. I promised him that I would contact her to try to get her on tonight's show, but I did not have the time to do that, so I will. I'll let you guys know. All right, man.
Thank you.
All right, take care.
All right.
Let me see if I can do this without hanging up on you. All right, now Andrew Zarian is saying my audio is all of a sudden low, and I don't know how that's possible. I'm looking at my levels, and it's so loud. What happened? You said the sound was incredible. Just like 10 minutes ago, Andrew. Tell me what's happening. Oh, you fixed it. Okay, it's fine. So you fucked up. All right. Listen, guys, I'm going to take a break. 888-659-3727. Give us a call here at The Bald Truth. Brand new TELUS NX6 phone system, which is amazing. I want to thank the people at TELUS for sending it out so quickly, and we'll talk more about the system. I think what I'm going to do for you guys, for some of the internet broadcasting guys, is maybe kind of do a video walkthrough of the new studio and some of the stuff that we added with the new system. Everyone seems to be very interested. And so, you know what? I'll take the time to do it. I hope that doesn't sound obnoxious, but I'm working like, if there were 30 hours in a day, I'd be working 30 hours a day. 888-659-3727. I'm Spencer Kobren. You're listening and watching The Bald Truth, self-help radio for guys. We'll be right back after these messages. Stay with us.
The winner of 7 prestigious Golden Forehead Awards.
My family's always arguing. It always starts off innocent and then it gets vicious right away. So I was like, hey, looks like you're losing some hair. At least my wife's not a whore.
Spencer David Kobren.
Hey guys, welcome back. Sorry for the long break. 888-659-3727. Always working behind the scenes, dealing with some bullshit. Even on July the 3rd. Just trying to get my drink on, do this show, and still got to deal with bullshit. But it is what it is. 888-659-3727. I'm Spencer Kobren, and you are listening to and watching The Bald Truth, self-help radio for guys, and of course for girls who get it. Andrew, I need a new chair, by the way. Now that I'm a big part of the GFQ network, I think you can get me a new chair. Listen, if you're new to the broadcast, don't know who I am or why I'm here, this is the Hair Loss Show. We've been doing this for quite a long time. And, sadly, 200,000 guys and women wake up every day in this country realizing that they're losing their hair for the first time. They don't know what to do. They never thought about it before, or at least a lot of people haven't who are dealing with it. They may have seen their parents dealing with it or their siblings, but sometimes you're kind of in denial. You don't think it's going to happen to you. And then when it does, it is such a painful feeling, such a shocker. You go into such a fucking panic. It's It's almost impossible to describe. It's impossible to articulate the feeling that you have when you first realize that you're losing your hair. And sadly, because of that panic, so many people, so many guys and girls, and men and women, and it doesn't matter if you're 20 or if you're 50, they fall for all the bullshit that's out there. They buy the lotions and the potions, and they go online, and they may look up hair loss treatments and see the American Hair Loss Association as 1 or 2 in Google, but they skip us. Fuck that. They don't want to read anything. They don't want to learn anything. You know what they want to do? They want to buy some bullshit product or service to treat their hair loss right away. There's got to be something out there. This is 2012. There has to be a cure that I can buy online and get shipped to my door via UPS. I haven't had a Heineken in a long time. There has to be. There has to be something that can help me. And I don't care if the American Hair Loss Association says that there's only a couple of FDA-approved products that works. Jesus. And that most of the doctors out there, or a great deal of them that are performing surgical hair restoration, are not doing it to state-of-the-art standards. I don't care about that because I want to get fixed. That's all. I don't. Whatever. I don't want to read. And that's why it's so easy to take advantage of you guys. That's why it's so easy. That's why I was taken advantage of. I was lucky enough to have the wherewithal to kind of step back and do my thing and realize, you know what? There's something screwy about this industry. There's something that's not right. I'm 22 years old, or however old I was when I finally said, you know what, enough's enough. And these people want to put a wig on me. I have no discernible hair loss, at least that someone just casually checking me out could have seen at the time. Or Norman Orentrike wanted to basically just say, hey, listen, if you're my own son, I would tell you, try a few hair transplants. If you don't like them, you don't have to come back. If I were just to take that advice, that grandfatherly advice that he gave me at the time, I would have been fucked. I chose not to do that, and I was lucky enough to make the right moves. And here I am, 47 years old, a helmet full of hair. But you know what? It could have been a lot worse. And that's what this broadcast is all about. That's what our resources are all about. That's why we do what we do, because so many of you, if you don't find this broadcast, if you don't take the time to really do your due diligence, you're going to be screwed in some way, shape, or form. That's what the hair loss industry is all about. Very small fraction of the industry actually does good. Very small percentage are actually out there to help you with what with real products and services that could really help you. And even those guys, can't help everybody. And that's why you guys need to know the reality of what's going on. You're going to read what's happening on Ball Truth Talk forums and other message forums and all the stuff that's out there on the internet. And sadly, while, we do not want to stifle the free flow of information, there's a lot of bullshit out there that's even on my forum from people who really don't know the reality of what's going on there. They're hoping against hope that there's products out there, that there's lotions out there that are working, that science and, big companies really haven't decided to embrace. So they're buying shit online that they read about on a message forum, and they are, in my view, just wasting precious time and money. I love the 4th of July. It's like my favorite holiday, by the way. So, if I start slurring, just Joe could stop me. And these companies don't really give a shit. You know how much money you can make in a 5-year period if you have a decently marketed hair loss product that doesn't work? Tens of millions of dollars. If I chose to go online tomorrow or say contact, the Home Shopping Network and said, listen, I got this great product. I'm going to manufacture it. It's a very simple product. It's a hair loss product. I'm the founder of the American Hair Loss Association. I have this crazy best-selling book that's been in the market for 10 years, and I could sell a product to any hair loss sufferer. I can guarantee you that I will get on the air tomorrow, and I will sell millions of dollars of product within a month. I guess I'm just guesstimating. I can probably make $10 million. Now, that sounds obnoxious. It sounds insane, but it's true. And don't you think there are huge marketing companies out there that have, the wherewithal and they have the direct marketing ability because they've been doing this for a long time that can do the same thing? There are plenty of companies that have. I was contacted by one of the largest direct marketing infomercial companies 9 years ago to get involved with a retin-A minoxidil product, a retinoid minoxidil product. It wasn't even retin-A. And it was a nice contract. I would have made a lot of money. I chose not to because I know how damaging some of these concoctions can be to people. There is a phenomenon called follicular fibrosis, which I don't even see it written about anymore, but it was back then. And some of these concoctions were causing like this, or allegedly causing like this, petrification of the hair follicle in guys, or in some cases, a severe chemical burn. I never found these concoctions any more effective than just straight minoxidil, 2% or 5%. So I couldn't endorse that. And I guess the reason I'm bringing this up is because it's so easy to take advantage of hair loss sufferers, and that's what's happening every single day. So do yourself a favor. There's no reason for us here at The Bald Truth. There's no reason for me to say, you know what, this product doesn't work. Only go with these products. I don't make any more money by saying that. Believe me. Take this information for what it's worth. We're telling you the truth. There's nothing else out there. No one's going to be able to find something. Some internet, some forum guy is not going to be able to go out there and do enough research to find the holy grail for you guys. It's not like Lorenzo's oil here. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Anyway, 888-659-3727. I'm the Pot Up Joe. Hey, Joe.
Yes, Spencer, I appreciate what you said, but the sad reality is a company like L'Oreal will be making hundreds of millions of dollars within the next few months, and these guys will still be under the microscopes.
You're
That's
right.
The reality of the situation. Am I correct on that?
You're right about that, but what you have to understand about L'Oreal is that they're cosmetic makers, basically, and that's what they do. So they're going to market whatever they market as a cosmetic, and I certainly understand that. This whole hypoxia theory, right now, and I'm getting a lot of noise from your phone, Joe. Right now, it's it's their thought that if they could effectively mimic this hypoxia, that the active ingredient in this L'Oreal product will really help with hair loss.
Stem oxide.
Right. Will really help with hair loss, but because there's no clinical data. Right now, even the way that they're marketing it through the press, it's kind of like, well, if it works, if it acts the way we think it's going to act, it's going to help a lot of people. You know how much they're going to sell before they figure it out? Now, I'm not saying it doesn't. It doesn't mean that it's not going to work at all. I'm not saying that. And L'Oreal's a very legitimate company, so I'm not saying that that's the case, but. The great thing about real clinical trials, the great thing about companies like pharmaceutical companies or even companies like Histogen or Replicel, companies and Adirans that really want to do it in a way where they can prove that what they are selling, what they are marketing works in a clinical fashion. To me, that is, that's the way things should be done. But I certainly understand your point. If L'Oreal's product works, man, I'll be the first to use it. I'll be jumping on that bandwagon. Let me tell you something. I will take their advertising dollars, you will see my huge, crazy-looking mug on every bottle of that product.
But the point I'm trying to make is they so intelligent that they circumvent the FDA. And the other companies are scared to death of the FDA. And these people will just go around the FDA and do whatever they want. This is the point I'm trying to make. You agree with my hypothesis?
It's not that they're circumventing the FDA. They don't have to even deal with the FDA. It's not like, we're going to figure out a way to circumvent the FDA. They're just saying, you know what? We're selling cosmetics. We can't make any hair growth claims. We're not going to make any hair growth claims. We're hoping that this shit's going to work. And we're going to say we're going to create, greater diameter in the hair shaft. We're going to, it's all going to be a matter of semantics and how they market this. So,
well, why does it history just market HSC as a cosmetic and make hundreds of millions of dollars and help hair loss sufferers? Is there something better than nothing?
You know what? I'm listening. I'm trying to formulate a thought here. Your point is certainly well taken.
I'm very agitated. I apologize, but you millions of listeners. I'm very agitated.
No. Your point is certainly well taken, but that's just not the way things work, Joe. That's all I can tell you.
Well, I do appreciate your frame of thought. I do appreciate that. But on the bright side, in September, Phase 2 will be over at Allergan, and they'll be having major clinical announcements to make. That's a fact. FDA file.
Well, I can tell you this: that now that we are doing the show prime time, and I put some feelers out for a lot of these these companies, and I will tell you that we're going to be able to get a lot more people on the air. Not just because we're on Tuesday nights, because there's some other things happening with the Bold Truth as well. So,
do you think Allergan would come on a program?
What?
Companies big as Allergan. You think they'd come on a program?
I will tell you that I think it's a very strong possibility. I'm not going to tell you why, but I'm going to tell you that I think it's a very strong possibility. And I think a lot, the Bold Truth is going to evolve significantly in this next 6 months. So,
well, I hope they do, because I'd like to conduct the interview myself, if you wouldn't mind. I have several questions to ask them.
Well, you can definitely be on the air, of course. Speaking about getting people on, speaking about people getting on the air, I will be doing an interview with Dr. Go soon. For all you guys who are continuing to bug Dr. Cohen Go, for all you guys who are continuing to bug the shit out of me. And believe me, I want this as much as you guys. I'm setting it up. But, I don't know how many emails that you guys think that I can take about this.
They attack you unfairly, Spencer. I have to say, you're being attacked unfairly by you.
You know what? Don't even worry about that. They can attack me all they want. It's just that I can't, first of all, we can't answer your emails. And we open up our mailbox in the morning. It's insane how many people. And you know what's crazy about it? Look. I think Dr. Go is a good guy. I think that he's been working hard at something for a very long time. There's been a lot of disappointment over the years. He might be onto something now, which is wonderful. I will say that I know that you said that Dr. Cole is collaborating with Dr. Go. That is not the case. That is not true. There's a lot of misinformation online. The biggest issue right now with Go's HST is that some of the stuff that it takes to make it happen is not approved here in the U.S. That's really one of the biggest hurdles, at least according to Dr. Go. It has really little to do with doctors not willing to accept it. It has really little to do with doctors not willing to say, hey, you know what, I want to learn this. I've already contacted Dr. Go, spoken to Dr. Go at length about training doctors either in the U.S. or in Canada or any place where they could actually utilize and I'm trying to word this carefully, utilize every aspect of his protocol. And it's probably not going to happen here in the U.S. I will tell you that right now. And it has nothing to do with the hair transplant industry wanting to stop this from growing or coming to fruition or evolving. Nothing to do with that at all. It is all based on his own protocol. That's it.
Let me pose this question to you. How do these doctors, so-called physicians, get away with injecting whatever the hell they want into patients' scalps You know the physicians I'm talking
But
about.
it's not whatever the hell they want. They're injecting stuff that's already either been approved by the FDA or does not need FDA approval. That's what they're injecting into people's scalps. That's what they're doing. It has nothing to do. There's only certain things that can be used. Whether it's used as a cosmetic, whether it's used, if it's being something that's being injected into the body, then there has to be some sort of prior approval for another application or whatever. But it can't just be done.
I understand that. No, I never said that the Coles embrace.
You actually used the word collaborate.
No, that's what I said. I read that online. I wasn't sure if it was true or false. That's what I said. I'm not trying to contradict you. Understand that?
I don't think you're contradicting me, and I don't give a shit if you contradict me. You're a friend, man. You can say whatever you want. I told you that a long time.
You're my best friend. You're my only friend, man. To be honest.
Oh, that's so fucked up. He's telling me I'm his only friend that I hung up on him. Joe, I'm so sorry. Hold on. Let me see who this is. Hey, who's this? You're on the air.
Hey, it's Andrew.
Andrew, Joe's telling me that I'm his only friend, and I just hung up on him.
That's all right. He'll forgive you.
That is hilarious. Wow. That is fucking classic, man. So, dude, tell me, first time with the new setup, I kind of switched things around. I'm using a different computer for some of the sound, the phone system. How's everything working?
I don't know. I'm seeing purple right now, Spence.
Why?
Jess went out. She went out to go watch that stripper movie, Magic Mike.
What is that? I never saw. What stripper movie is that?
It's about some stripper. I don't know. It's like a male stripper movie.
Good for her.
Yeah, so she went out with my cousin-in-laws, and I've been drinking vodka and taking some stuff.
Magic Mike, I'm going to look this up. Showtimes at Caliban. Let's see.
But it looks great. I mean, I'm looking at this phone system, dude, and the thing is huge.
Yeah, it's insane, actually.
I had no idea it was that big.
Yeah, that's what she said.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is interesting. Magic Mike. Male stripper teaches a young performer how to party, pick up women, and make easy money.
Bet you he has hair.
He sure does. I got some stories to tell you. One day. But I think Joe actually maybe he just hung up. Let me go with the phone number 888-659-3727. I got to tell you, I'm enjoying the Tuesday night.
No, I am too, man. It's great. I have a little vodka here with seltzer, and I'm enjoying the night. Just went out, and I'll tell you, your video looks great. The callers sound amazing.
Yeah, I will tell you that this is certainly, in my view, and listen, Comrex was great. I had a great run with them, except the system only lasted me 3 years before it petered out. So maybe it always had a little bit of a problem because the sound quality was just not the same as this.
No. This sounds amazing, and the difference you're going to see is with. I was speaking to Mike Phillips right before I called you.
Yeah.
Audio expert, and he was saying that you're going to see you're going to hear a huge difference with cell phone calls and voice over IP calls.
Yeah, I already hear. I mean, did you hear Joe's call? Holy shit.
Oh, he sounds great. He sounds extremely articulate, almost like he's sober.
Yeah, I feel really bad.
The phone system sobered him up.
I feel really bad. I may actually have to call him back myself.
No call.
But there are guys in the chat.
Wait a minute. Did he say he has pancreatic cancer?
Yeah, that's what's fucked up. He said that the doctor said that he might have pancreatic cancer, and he doesn't seem to give a shit. Now, I'm hoping.
What do you mean he might have?
There are plenty of. No, I mean they see some cysts. There are plenty of people, and plenty of times you could be diagnosed with benign cysts on your liver or on your pancreas or some other organ, and that's more common than people realize. So they see. They take a CAT scan or an ultrasound, and they see kind of like dark marks, on the organ, and they're like, oh shit, what's this? We have to check it out. It could be cancer. So I'm hoping that it's just a scare, it's just a cyst, and that's it.
Listen, at least he'll go fast.
You know what? It depends. It depends on if he fights it or not. I've known people.
No,
Joe's not going to fight.
It's like he won the lottery. This poor guy. He's so screwed up.
Oh, fucking Joe, man. I feel.
He did look really thin. I'll tell you. He did look really thin.
Did you think he looked too thin when you met him?
I think he could put on a little weight.
I mean, he looked kind of normal. He didn't look like totally frail or anything.
You know, he's nutty on the air, but he's a really sweet guy. I mean, he's a good guy.
No, he is a good guy. But the problem is, he's always. I mean, when we were at Blog World, he got really loaded during the time he was there. He wasn't drinking, but he was taking pills.
His Zanny pack? That's what I called it.
He had a Zanny pack, yeah.
Yeah, he literally had a Zanny pack. He had a little fanny pack filled with Xanax.
All right, I don't want to hang up on you, so let me see if I can lock your call, and then put this guy on hold. You there?
I'm here.
All right. Let me see who this is. Hey, you're on the air. Who's
Hello.
this? Hey.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I got cut off.
No, I hung up on you. I hung up on you accidentally because of my new phone system. I'm going to lock your call. I'm going to take somebody else. Hold on.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, who's this? You're on the air.
Hey, Spencer, how are you?
Dude, you were on the line with Joe, Andrew, and me, and let's see how the hybrid holds up. Everyone say hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Oh, this phone is unbelievable. Billy in the chat room is pissed off because I keep talking about my phone, but Billy, I'm just very excited about it.
Spencer, that's very terrible news about Joe. I'm very shocked.
But how come Joe doesn't seem too upset about it? This is what's worrying.
I don't understand it, Joe. How come you're not upset?
Because to me, it's trivial. Hair loss is the worst disease of everything. This is
well, Joe, I'm going to be honest with you. That'd really bother me if you were gone. I didn't have you to talk to and listen to every week. I consider you a friend.
I appreciate that, Johnny. But I consider hair loss. My detractors on a Ball Truth Talk and other places attack me every day, especially a lovely young lady. I won't mention her name. But
you know what, Joe? They're trying to get your goat. You're one of the best contributors to this show. Your knowledge and what you bring to it is something that I think all of us every week want to listen to. I mean, you are part of the fabric of the Bald Truth.
Well, I appreciate that.
Where are you at, Joe? By the way.
I'm on a Zarian bus broke down. I'm on a city bus being transported home.
Oh, okay. You by yourself?
No, I have a few, 3 people on the bus. I know what 6, I know what 4, and 4 on a pass. 3 different people. And the bus driver with the shaved head.
So what happened? The accessoride broke down. How does that happen?
The battery. I couldn't wait for an hour.
And if that happens, why don't they have somebody else pick you up?
Well, Spencer, I had to do the show. My concern was you and your mains of listeners. That was my concern. The inaugural show on Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's all I cared about. I don't care about terminal illness. It doesn't faze me. All I care about is hair loss suffering.
Hey guys, let me ask you a question. Andrew's saying that he's having some problems hearing the sound on the phone. How are my levels, and can you guys hear each other?
I hear you perfectly.
Yes.
I hear everybody, but it seems like you're low, Spence. I hear Johnny perfectly.
You know what?
And I hear you perfectly too, Andrew. I do.
Well, thank you, Johnny. I appreciate that.
And is my volume low to you guys?
Very low.
Your volume
very low, Spencer.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's a problem that I'm going to have to somehow try to fix. So you guys could hear each other perfectly, though.
Mm-hmm. Maybe you should dish out a couple bucks.
On a bus.
Maybe you should dish out a couple bucks and get an engineer.
Dude, I can't afford it.
That's all. I'll show you $100, okay?
He can't afford an engineer, but you can afford to buy him a chair, right, Andrew?
I will tell you this.
I already ordered it as part of our contract. Let me tell you, Spencer and I have a 17-page contract for the Bald Truth. I'm not even exaggerating. I'm not exaggerating that. There's a 17-page, 24-month contract for the Bald Truth on GFQ.
Well, you know what's funny is, Andrew thinks that he's neurotic, but when he was trying to get my show and trying to get me to sign to commit to doing the Bald Truth through GFQ, I think he really got a concept of the reality of what neurotic is. And I think part of that is because I worked so hard to build this brand that I just didn't want to give it away to some kid. No offense.
Listen, we have. I mean, it's an ironclad contract. We went back to the lawyers a couple times, and we went back and forth, and we're friends. But I mean, it's work. We have to, separate it sometimes. But 17-page contract, and I have it for 2 years.
Leo Corleone said it's nothing personal. It's just business.
It is just business, right? I mean, am I wrong, Johnny? What should I have done? Hey, you know what? Take the fucking show. I built this.
No,
I spent 14 years building this. Just take
things
it.
From. You have a friendship, but to keep it from that friendship from falling apart, you have to have something there that's a foundation. And the contract protects not only you, but it protects Andrew too.
Oh, and
so I think
of course.
smart.
And this is. You're right, Johnny. I mean, it's not like we're playing radio or anything. It's a job.
And don't you think at some point Andrew's? And do you think at some point Andrew's just?
Don't people know there's a lot of money tied in this?
Sure. and the thing is you're having fun doing it.
Don't you know, Spencer, there's a lot of money in what we do?
Yeah, that's what I heard. I heard don't they know there's a lot of money in this? It's a little inside joke, guys. A little inside joke.
Yeah.
But I will tell you that.
I'll put up $1,000. Really? Do you need it?
No, dude. I could.
And I'll give you I'll send you a check. Really.
All right. So the worst thing is my voice is a little lower for you guys on hold. However, I got everything.
No, it's not on my end.
I got everything else working just fine.
Yeah. Well, I did. Mike Phillips and myself were looking into it, and there's two modes apparently to your phone system. There's producer mode and talent mode.
Right. This is in talent mode. I have to keep it in talent mode. Yeah. So I have to keep it, and it's possible that because Joe is actually live, you guys are you're not on hold, but you guys are locked.
Laid.
So it's possible that the fact that I locked you guys. Let me try to unlock you guys and see what happens.
Because I hear you perfectly, man.
All right, now how is that, guys?
No, same thing. No difference.
Yeah, no difference.
How is that?
No.
Well, fuck you guys.
Okay.
I'm trying my best.
Something about hair. I mean, this is fun, guys, talking about phone systems. But I do have a hair loss thing to talk about.
All right, so let's talk about that.
You remember that friend of ours that I was talking to you about the hair loss stuff?
Yes.
And I ran into him this weekend, and we hung out, and we were talking about it, and he goes, listen, I just want to tell you that you really helped me out with this. I'm like, what are you talking about? He goes, remember that conversation that we had about how important hair is, about dating, and if it's all in your head, no pun intended, or if the girl looks into it, and he said that he's coming to terms with the fact that he'll never have a head of hair, and he's considering shaving his head.
Well, you know what? I actually think that's a good idea for this guy. And by the way, we have a guy, Billy, in the chat room who's like, this is like public access. I love that. I love the fact, A, that he has the balls to say that, and B, that he said that.
It's just one step below public access. Right underneath public access.
Fucking people, they have no idea what it takes to do what we do. No idea what it takes.
It's just a bunch of drunks leading each other.
When I was on terrestrial radio, all I had to do was sit down and do a fucking show, and everything was perfect. Oh, Joe, man, your thing is so I can't. Hold on for a second. Let me see if I can put you on hold.
Hello?
Hold on, Joe.
Sorry.
It's like CB radio.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. So
I'm on the city bus, Spencer.
What'd you say?
I'm on a city bus. That could be part of the problem.
I know. I may have actually put Johnny on hold. Hold on.
Stop, Johnny.
Yeah. So, I mean, just imagine producing your entire radio show, doing your board, doing your sound effects, doing your video, and screening your own calls with a brand new phone.
No, it's a lot of work. You need to have severe, ADD in order to do this. That's why I thrive in this kind of situation.
These guys have no idea.
No, it takes a lot of work, but I'll tell you, it sounds great. Other than Joe, sounding like he's in a wind tunnel, but it sounds great. It looks great.
Fucking Joe.
You are going high def in a couple of weeks, so that might be something the viewers might like to know, that we're flipping to high definition.
That's actually very exciting, and I got to tell you, I'm looking at your video right now from your feed, and I mean, listen, I'm at this point, I'm 47 years old. My eyes are going on me a little bit. It looks pretty crystal clear. It looks like it's like DV quality.
No, it looks great. It does look good.
So what
I just want it a little bit better.
What is the difference going to be? Hey, Johnny, I pod you back up.
It's going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot sharper.
Wow. So do I have to start putting makeup on or something? Because I'm
You're going to have
I'm a
to
little
start putting
concerned
makeup
about
on
that.
like myself.
So are you going to start? Yeah.
And people are going to realize that my hair is not real.
Leave me alone, bitch.
Leave me alone, bitch.
Leave me alone.
Who are you talking to?
Who are you talking to, Joe?
No, some cat keeps staring at me. You know it's 7. I know how he wants to be.
He knows who, because he knows who you are, Joe.
He knows you're the great Joe from Staten Island.
I don't
Did you get into a fight on the bus?
He keeps like whistling at me, staring at me.
Well, he's only human.
That's right, Joe. Come on, what do you expect? You're a looker, man.
Some Norwood 7 is staring at me on the bus.
He may be a transgender.
Oh man, Spencer, it looks long vanished. I'm not as beautiful as I once was.
Dude, you look
I'm an old man.
Talking about transgenders,
Yes.
is Bruce Jenner wearing a piece?
I'm not transgender.
You know, that's interesting that you say that. Bruce has been, from what I've seen, dyeing his hair for a very long time, and he always kind of had the same hairstyle. It's very possible that he's transitioned into a 1970s middle part piece. I'm not saying that he has.
Yeah, I'm watching the Kardashians, which are your neighbors, and I'm watching a show right now, and he looks like he's wearing a piece, and he looks like he's transformed into a woman.
Well, Joe, man, your phone is really fucked up. You gotta just cover.
He had quite a bit of plastic surgery done.
Cover the mouthpiece.
He did, but that hair, I mean, I looked at the part where the wind was blowing.
I'm on a bus.
Really?
Hold
I'll
on.
be off in about 10
What's
minutes.
Joe doing?
I don't know. He's on the bus.
It's interesting.
Right. But I'm watching. There's a scene where he's the wind is blowing, and you could see the top hair separate from the bottom.
What do you mean the top hair separating from the bottom? What bottom hair?
Like it when the wind is blowing, you can see like there's like almost like this line where the piece is.
Oh, really?
Where like his real hair is separating from the piece.
You know what? I guess it's a possibility. I'm not going to say for sure. I do know that.
I hope it is.
Obviously, he's had a lot of work done, and he's, how old is Bruce Jenner now? 55? How old is he? I mean, he's got to be.
I don't know. He's like 140, man. Poor guy.
Still, it's like, Jesus, Spencer, let Joe call back at home. Listen, guys, that's all part of the fun of live broadcasting.
People, you don't realize Joe is a wild card dog.
Hold on, guys.
Yeah, I like the fact that Joe's about to get robbed on the Q13 bus. That's part of my night.
Andrew, he's a gold mine, and you don't even know it.
I do know it, man. I met him in real life. He's a fascinating guy.
Yeah,
how was he to meet in person? How was that encounter?
I think he had a little bit of a.
You think it is.
He was wearing like these loose shorts, and I think he had a little chub when he met Andrew.
Oh, why?
Well, he had a fanny pack. He had a fanny pack, and I think he had like a striped tank top and like really short shorts.
The shorts weren't that short, but they were pretty. It wasn't quite Richard Simmons like
ball cap.
It was interesting.
It was almost there, but the most bizarre part was the mask, the surgical mask he was wearing.
Yeah, we have pictures.
No.
We have pictures with him with he brought a surgical mask for a couple of reasons. One, he's a little bit of an agoraphobe, as he says on the air all the time, and I guess so. He's a little concerned about germs, so he's a germaphobe too, and he wanted to disguise his identity for pictures. So he had these really bizarre, like glaucoma type glasses, like those the ones that 80-year-old men wear when they come back from the eye doctor, and this mask. So that's very.
So he
real.
sort of stuck out like a sore thumb.
You know what? Initially, he was pretty okay. He was absolutely fine. It was so great to see him. But then I would see, as the hours passed and we were doing our work at Blog World, he was getting more and more loaded. And he had this fanny pack, which Andrew calls a Zanny pack, and he kept going in there and popping something, some sort of pills.
Yeah, as the night went on, the Zanny pack came into play.
Yeah.
So did you get to sit down and have much interaction with him, Andrew?
Yeah, we had a nice chat. I mean, he was really normal, and he was functioning. And as the day went on, he went into bizarre mode. I think the higher he got, the more weirder he got.
So you think maybe the pharmaceuticals kicked in?
Well, this is what happened.
The pharmaceuticals kicked in.
We had this huge booth. We were broadcasting live and doing our thing, and Joe was fine. And towards the end, he was kind of almost like falling into the booth. People were talking to us, and he was like, Andrew's broadcasting. He's kind of walking in front of everybody. But we love him.
Were you able to go out and have a couple adult beverages with him, or?
You know what? He said he had to leave. He said he was having a cold sweat or some shit, and I'll pot him up in a second. He said he had to leave. And then he got upset that we all went out the night afterwards on Thursday, and he was hurt that we didn't invite him. He wasn't there.
Well, wasn't he inspecting Chauncey Hayden's head also? He said something to Chauncey about his head.
Yeah. Chauncey unfortunately had a very bad hair transplant back
by a
well-known
doctor.
You can say who it is.
By Hitzig.
Right, and this was years ago, and he didn't have a great job, and now he shaves his head, so he has a lot of visible scars, a lot of visible scarring. But he walks around like that, and it's not as bad as you would think because he's an extremely pale person, so the scars kind of blend in with his skin tone. If he had the slightest bit of pigment in his skin, he'd be fucked. But
he's got balls. We got to give him that.
He does. So Joe actually said
he's screwed up from it. I mean, he really is, and he tries to hide it. But we'll start drinking, and he'll start telling me about why did I ever do this? I wish I never did.
Well,
the scar is bad, and I keep telling him, I'm like, listen, Steve Grillo's scar is 10 times worse than yours.
Well, the reason it's 10 times worse is because Steve Grillo has a little bit more pigment, and he also has dark hair surrounding it. So he's very lucky, actually, that he.
Can Chauncey be fixed? Do you think, Spencer?
No, Chauncey can't be fixed. Chauncey,
no.
He doesn't have enough donor, and unless they were somehow miraculously able to erase scars, which they're working on, he can't be fixed. But with that said, honestly, from a social distance, he doesn't look bad at all. I mean, he calls himself ugly. He's always very self-deprecating, but and Andrew busts on him on the poor guy. But he's pretty normal looking. I don't see anything as blatantly wrong with him as he does. You know what I mean?
No. I mean, he's held up. He's a 54-year-old dude, and he looks pretty young for his age. And he's in decent shape. He's not in awful shape. So he's holding on. I think a lot of his insecurities come from the hair stuff.
It does, and like Suncast says, he still gets women. He gets young broads. Let's see what Joe has to say about this. Joe, you there?
Yes, I'm off the bus now. Do I sound better?
Much better.
Oh, yeah.
Much better.
Finally off the bus.
The driver asked me to leave the bus.
Now I can't hear you.
I'm off the bus now. But Chauncey, he diced his hair.
He what?
And the problem was nothing grew. Go on top of
Joe, you're breaking up, bro. So we're not going to be able to hear you. You're in a bad area.
Hello?
You're in a bad area, Joe. I can't hear you.
You hear me now?
Yes.
Did Joe say he got thrown off the bus?
Joe got thrown off the bus.
Oh.
Did you hear that, Andrew?
I did not hear that. What did he say?
I'm still cracking up that Bill. I'm still cracking up that Billy said this is like public access. It's so fucking funny because it is. When I hear what's going on, if I was actually not drinking and when I watch the playback, I'm going to be like, this is the funniest shit ever. Joe is it's just hilarious, man. It's unbelievable. Billy, why don't you call the show? 888-659-3727. It's toll free. I want to hear your thoughts for tonight. 888-659-3727. Actually, Joe just hung up.
This is the guy's a gold mine.
Joe's great, man.
And so, as the day went on, how many hours did he stay with you guys down at the?
About 3.
Oh, dude, he was there for 3 hours. He's like ogling Common Law and Jess and just saying how beautiful they are and how everyone's so beautiful and he can't believe how beautiful GFQ is. It was crazy.
Oh, I'd love to have been there. That would have been just That'd been great.
I think
I'd like to meet the guy
he might have a
someday.
slight crush on Suncast too.
He might have a slight crush on Suncast.
Well,
You know what?
I think if it was between Common Law, Jessica, and Suncast, I think Suncast would have won.
Probably. Are you saying Suncast is a chick with a crank?
Wow. Listen, who knows? He could be dressed up nice and pretty, and he might be good enough for Joe.
Well, let me tell you something about Suncast, which was bizarre to me. He doesn't drink. He started to do shots with us, and he was fucking sober as a judge after like 5
I know.
shots.
It actually. There's a couple people you never trust. One, you never trust the guy that has sweat on his upper lip.
Yeah.
And 2, you don't trust the guy that doesn't drink. And 3, you definitely don't trust the guy that drinks and doesn't get drunk.
No, I mean, he was just, I don't know if he was like really working hard to be like, he was like a rock. And he's like, this guy doesn't drink, Johnny, and he actually wanted shots of Jägermeister.
Oh, God. My Lord. And he was
like a lunatic.
Yeah.
How much does he weigh?
He's a big guy.
5,000 pounds.
He's like a tall dude. He's probably about 6 foot, maybe a little taller than that. And I'd say he's probably about, 180. I mean, I don't know. What do you think?
He can pound, man.
Yeah. I mean, he's not a fat guy. He's a big guy. He's a big boy.
He's a tall guy. He's like a tall person. He's a big guy. He's thin. So I'd say, 185, something like that. He doesn't have a tremendous amount of muscle on him or anything, but he's a bigger dude. I was actually shocked at how tall he was. I think he was shocked at
Luke of alcohol.
And I think he was shocked at my paint job, actually. I felt him staring at my head the entire time. Him and Andrew.
I don't stare at your head.
It's like, I think it's some sort. It's like the eighth wonder of the world for these guys. They can't.
Well, I've got you on the expanded screen, Spencer, and the hair looks good.
Thank you, man. They can't.
No, the hair. You do not. You can't tell anything.
Looks good
when you look at it.
These guys, they're trying to figure it out. We're at the strip club, and I got the guy from Lunatic Radio kissing on me. What's his name? Kieran. Nice guy, by the way, but he reeked of some cologne. I had to ask him to move because I couldn't eat my food.
He stunk of like
it was
a car.
It was unbelievable.
Now, was Joe checking out the sculpture?
He probably was, but he didn't seem obvious. He didn't seem obvious. You know what?
He was too enamored with Common Law and Jessica.
I think he was more enamored with Andrew and Suncast, to tell you the truth.
Really?
Yeah. But these are young guys. These are all. I mean, I'm hanging out with these kids. I'm like, oh, these guys could be my kids. You know what I mean,
I got
Johnny?
to take a nap, man. I don't know how you do it. I just can't do that anymore, Spencer.
What? Drink and hang out with these kids?
Yeah, I mean,
Spencer goes into high gear, man. He hangs.
See, I'm so used to going to bed early and getting up early. It's just, man, a couple beers and I'm ready to go to sleep.
Yeah, well, I don't know what it is. I guess I'm lucky genetically, and like you're right, dude. I mean, I hang out with you kids, and I'm like, I go into the high gear. I'm partying. Not normal, actually. I don't think it's healthy.
Yeah, come on, man. You know what? You only live once.
Well, that's true, but I mean, if you saw us at Carmine's, it was ridiculous. I mean, these girls were so loud.
Oh man, we lost it there, dude. We were going berserk, and Common Law and Jess were loud and screaming.
Jesus. All right, let's see.
Wow, good party.
Let's see who this is. Hey, you're on the air. Who's this?
Hey.
Hey.
This is Suncast.
Hey, what's happening, man? How are you?
How's it going?
All right. So what do you weigh? How tall are you and what do you weigh? Because you're a big dude.
Like 6 foot 180, I guess.
6 foot 180. Okay, so you're certainly not a fat guy, but you're like a larger. You were impressive in your size.
You're calling me fat now?
No, you were impressive. When I met you, I was actually shocked at
He's a big guy.
I was shocked at how tall you are because you look short on the air.
Yeah, because I think Spencer's used to me. I'm 5'9", 180.
Yeah, but you are, you have a pretty good build, Andrew. I mean, you can see you have some muscle on you.
Jessica says I'm like a former pro wrestler. Like, if I tighten my stomach, you see all the cuts?
Right.
and you see the cuts on my chest, but it's like fat on top of it.
Well, that's what I used to be, and then I lost a lot of weight. I lost like 25 pounds, and now I.
Yeah, see, but Andrew is past his prime now.
Andrew lost it.
Oh, shut up, John.
John, you're older than you're older than Andrew, aren't you?
Yes.
Yeah. So what do you? So let me ask you this: Why don't you when you drink? Why don't you get drunk?
Because I've never had the opportunity. I don't get opportunities to do that.
But you had an opportunity.
Come on, man. No, wait a minute. Hold it.
Wait. You had an
You live
opportunity
up
with
in
us.
Detroit, the Detroit area. You got all the casinos up there, and you don't have an opportunity to get drunk.
Oh gosh, I don't go to Detroit.
Johnny, they also have gun stores. He doesn't go and shoot a gun.
And they have a lot of pawn shops.
A lot of pawn shops.
8 Mile.
Listen, by the
Hey,
way,
have you ever been
Spencer
to
and
that
I
one?
the other day Spencer and I have been looking at real estate investments, and we realized we could buy every one of the Bald Truth viewers a house in Detroit, and it would only cost us $142.
Yeah, we were actually thinking. We said, you know what? Fuck, let's buy GFQ a neighborhood in Detroit, and it's so cheap that we could hire our own police service.
Suncast would be the chief of police.
And Suncast is our Chief Wiggins or whatever that guy's name is from The Simpsons.
Chief Wiggins from The Simpsons. No, I mean we're making a joke, but this is the reality. It's so screwed up over there, where you could literally buy a house for $141.
Oh no, it's bad. Detroit's in real despair.
It's shambles.
I will not go to Detroit. I avoid it at all costs.
Well, first of all, forget about
outside are you?
Forget about the hood and all that stuff and what's going on. It's so fucking cold there. There's no way in hell, even if it was an incredible place to live, that I would ever live there.
Well, see,
Same
you're
thing with
spoiled
Cleveland.
now. Come on, you lived in New York, and now you're in California, and now you're just spoiled.
I lived in New York, but it's not even close to as cold as it is in Michigan, first of all.
Yeah, we don't have that Midwestern wind, man. We don't get that.
Well, right now, Suncast and I are both enjoying 90-plus degree weather with humidity around 90. You guys getting about the 90-degree weather, Suncast?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's been crazy for the past week and a half.
Well, we get the 90-degree weather.
We haven't had a sub 85-degree weather here in New York for about a couple of weeks now. It's been brutal.
Yeah, we get
90s
the
every day.
We get the 90-degree weather with no humidity.
Well, we finally got rain today. Finally.
Yeah, you guys had those
been
bad
dry.
storms that moved through a couple days ago.
Yeah, it was.
Oh,
all right, listen, guys. I'm really enjoying the new show we're doing, This Week in Weather, on the GFQ network. But I got to run.
Well,
all right, Andrew, listen.
We're trying to enlighten you about you want to move out to the Midwest, and we're just trying to enlighten you on the things that we do out here.
No. If I move, I already the weather. I already spoke to Jess about this. Because we were talking about the impending divorce that's most probably going to happen in the next couple of years.
Yeah.
And I was saying, like, okay, what are you going to do? She's like, well, I'm just going to go marry some rich guy. This time I married for love the first time, and this time I'm going to marry for money. And I'm like, oh, good for you. She's like, what do you plan on doing? I'm like, I'm just going to go move in with Spencer.
Well, we have room. We have room here. You can certainly do that, but you would have to do, your share of the chores.
Yeah, no, listen, I'll clean, I'll cook, I clean, I'm good. I can be a live-in.
But actually, I need a full-time engineer because I'm trying to jerry-rig this whole shit myself, and I'm having problems.
Listen, I don't cost a lot of money. I'm like a hamster. Just feed me once a day, and I'm okay.
It's funny. That's what Chauncey said to me.
Yeah, all you have to feed him is booze and pills.
Chauncey said he'll give him a job. He'll be my houseboy as long as I give him a place to live.
But if
that's
he
all I
decided to
want.
move to Detroit, though, he could live a lot cheaper.
That's true.
Dude, you could live a lot cheaper anywhere outside of New York, man. I was joking about this. I have a buddy that just bought a house in Pennsylvania for I think like $20,000.
Insane.
It's a decent house. I could sell my house and buy 20 of those.
Yeah, $20,000.
$20,000. I mean, it's insane.
So what do? You go to the realtor with like a briefcase with cash. Is that how the deals work there?
Dude, I could buy 40 of those homes if I sold my house.
That's insane. Well, you live in a nice neighborhood.
I mean, that's sickening.
You live in a very high-end, blue-collar, neighborhood. It's like,
thanks for putting in the blue collar.
Well, it's true. You live in a neighborhood where, like, the people own, like, the Jiffy Lubes, but they own, like, 5 of them.
Yeah. That's exactly what it is.
They're blue-collar guys, but they're rich.
like every guy on my block was a firefighter, and he got hurt, and now he owns a bar.
Yeah, and 4 bars.
Getting a $90,000 pension to support his drinking habit.
I mean, the average house worth of your house in your neighborhood is probably about $700,000.
Yeah, about 700 and you're getting like a 2-bedroom ranch.
Yeah, ridiculous.
Like the second you go into the colonials here, but it's bizarre. One interesting thing about my area is that it's starting at like $600,000, and it tops out like from 6 to 9. There's a big difference, and then there's nothing after 900. So you're getting like a mansion, but the house that's 900,000, and the house that's $1 million, it's like a dump compared to the $1 million house. It's so bizarre how the real estate works.
Yeah, here in this neighborhood, you can get about a 1,600 square foot house for like $750,000.
Oh my God!
Is that insane?
You got to be kidding me!
I'm not kidding you.
A $750,000 house where I live, it'd probably about 6,000 square feet.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Or more.
Yeah.
And that's not counting the property that you would get with it.
Right, you'd probably get at least like 4 acres.
Oh, more than that.
Yeah, more than that.
Yeah, you'd probably about 5 acres. I mean, it depends on what development you'd be in. But yeah, it would be, oh, Lord. A 1,600
All right, Spence, I got to run. My phone is dying.
All right, bro. Thanks for the call.
All right, dude.
Take care.
All right, take care, guys. Right. Take care. Brush your hair.
Brush your hair.
Mm-hmm.
Andrew Zarian, guys from Queens, and he's gone. Well, this is a great inaugural Tuesday night show. I know we're not talking a lot about hair loss, guys. I'm sorry, but it's 4th of July weekend, even though it's Tuesday. We're having a couple of drinks, having fun, reintroducing the Bald Truth to a weekday slot, which I'm excited about. And I will tell you that we're going to have a lot more guests on the air with us here at the Bald Truth. I always kind of, wanted the show to be our kind of place to hang out and to talk about, hair loss and anything that we deal with in life. And I always, when I was doing the show on, especially when I started like on WOR, WABC, it was always guest driven, which was great. That's what radio is all about. But I wanted to create kind of like a support group for guys. And that's all wonderful. We've done a great job over the years. But now it seems that more and more guys are writing us and asking for more guests again. You know what I mean, Johnny?
Yes.
So that's what we're going to do. So go ahead.
It sounds exciting. It sounds like your feed's going to be in high definition. You've got the new telephone system.
It's going to be high definition audio and video. So the audio is going to go out on like Stitcher and iTunes and all the major online networks in high def, which is extremely exciting. And I don't think it's actually going to be. It's going to sound like that. It's going to be compressed, but whatever. It's going to sound better than radio, which I think.
Are you going to have more doctors interviews with?
We are, but I'm really trying to. It's a kind of a tightrope that you have to walk. You don't want to have too many of the docs on. I'm more interested in having kind of like guys who've been through shit, like guys who are dealing with hair pieces, guys who've had hair transplants, guys who have had other issues with hair loss. But absolutely, we're going to have the doctors as well. So,
FDR is asking, is there any chance of Dr. Hassan, Spencer?
Yes, there's always a chance of Dr. Hassan. I've interviewed him a couple of times, and I actually did some stuff locally in his area with him. He's not the most animated guy in the world to have on the radio, I will tell you that. So, it really depends. And also, he's very guarded. So there's only so much he's going to. And if he's listening or he hears the replay, this is not an insult by any means. He has the right to be guarded because most people should be, especially in this industry. But, he doesn't want to offend anybody else, in the industry. He's doing some really cutting edge stuff, and he's always been kind of ahead of the curve. He's really heavily scrutinized, let's put it that way. But yes, if you guys want Dr. Victor Hassan on the show, I'll make sure it happens.
That's
right.
good.
Who is this? Well, hold on for a second. Did I hang up on you, Johnny?
No. Am I on the air?
You're on the air.
Am I on the air?
Yes.
Hello, am I on the air?
Yes, you're on the air. I hung up on somebody
I'm calling
else.
live in front of my house now.
Actually, Suncast, I think I hung up on Suncast. I'm sorry about that. Yes, you're much better.
Yes,
Yes,
but I
you
wanted
do
to
sound
say
really
you should
good.
have like cutting edge people like Dr. Washanik, Costorales,
Dr. Washanik, Dr. Washanik will not.
Bernard from L'Oreal, people like that, who have the real break.
Well, why don't you book the guest for us?
Spencer, I may be a hell as expert, but I don't have the connections you do.
Give him a call.
So Joe,
I don't have
did you get thrown off the bus tonight?
No, I stopped at something. I was kidding. Stopped at my house. From my house.
Now, what about the gentleman that was giving you a hard time?
There was no at 7. He kept listening to what I was saying. He'd give me dirty looks.
Yeah.
Maybe he's a fan of the show. I don't know. He kept staring at me, giving me these peculiar looks.
I don't know if he's giving you the peculiar looks because he's a fan of the show. I think it's just maybe, it is what it is.
But after thinking about Chauncey, nothing grew on top of his head. I was really shocked by that. Nothing grew. It was kind of odd.
Well, no. I think some of it grew. He just shaves it down because he's so significantly bald.
Oh, I didn't. He asked my expert opinion. He's the one who brought it up. I didn't say anything to him.
Well, he knows you. He listens to the show.
What Norwood is he, Joe?
I don't know. He just has a shaved head. I said, Sean, you look good.
He's a 7. He's very close to a full-blown 7.
Oh.
It's scarring, in my opinion. My expert, I'm not a physician, as you know, but scarring, in my opinion, wasn't really that bad.
You mean the linear scar? No, it wasn't terrible because he didn't have a lot of procedures, but he has pretty significant cobblestoning in the front.
When doctors have seen me, now I see why they say I'm not so bad. Now I finally realize what they're talking about.
No, you're not so bad, Joe, apparently. You're just fucked up, We're all fucked up, but you're fucked up in your own way.
Yeah. By the way, Spencer, I want to tell you, millions of people, I didn't really stare at your hair. I did for a few minutes. I was more staring at your wife, to be honest with you, than your hair.
Well, I hear you, man. Everyone stares at her. We walk into a room together, I'm basically invisible.
No, seriously, I haven't seen you in a few years. I didn't know your teeth have improved. They were significantly wider. You've lost weight, and your hair got a little bit grayer, but you actually seem to have more hair to me than the last time I saw you, in my expert opinion.
Wow, how is that? I think I have a better paint job, perhaps.
Well, your hair is grayer in person. I have to say that, but I took pictures. I did take several pictures, as you know.
Yes.
And when the pictures came out, your hair is brown.
Well, on video, my hair is mostly brown. In pictures, it's just the way that it's picked up. I guess I'm not gray enough where in images the lens picks up the gray for whatever reason. But in person, I'm about 50% gray.
Well, I wouldn't really say that. I guess so. I really didn't. I didn't have. It's a kind of mechanism.
That's the first thing Suncast said. He goes, "Wow, you're a lot grayer than you are a lot grayer in person than I thought." He has a way with words, Suncast. I'll tell you that.
Could I audition could I audition to be a houseboy, Spencer?
Can you what?
I audition to be a houseboy. I do 2 shows a week, live out of your house for my rent.
Dude, let me tell you something. If I could sell that shit, I would do it. I have to figure out a way to sell it, though.
Well, we'll call it the Joe from Staten Island show.
If I can make money if I was able to make money from Joe from Staten Island, I'd let you live here.
Well, I appreciate that. Any free benefits?
You must be drinking. So, Joe, you were. I understand you were very enamored with the common law and Jessica.
Yes, they're 2 beautiful women. As Spencer knows,
that's what I understand.
Pharmaceutical agents, and they hit me towards the end of the day. I started to fall asleep, and I had a doctor's appointment at 3:00. Then I just,
lost way maybe to cancel the appointment and drink a couple Red Bulls?
No, the cats weren't going out that night. They told me they'd go out the following night. They said Spencer was going to be with his father and his wife. Remember, Spencer, you doing takeout.
That's true. I went out. I went up to my dad's apartment, hung out with. It's not his wife, but him and his girlfriend. And then Andrew called me and said, "Listen, we're at the strip club. Why don't you guys come over and have a steak?" So we met him there later, but it wasn't really a big party. The real party was on Thursday night when we went to Carmine's.
Yeah. Well, next time you come in, Spencer, I'll really inject myself with something really hard, and maybe we can hang out. What do you think about
We
that?
can definitely hang out, but what do you need to inject yourself with something? Why can't you just kind of figure it out and we can go someplace that you're comfortable, where you feel, totally at ease, as opposed to, being at a place like Blog World?
Well, I was all right at Blog World. I took, I tell you the truth, I ingested about 12 milligrams of Xanax just to walk in the door, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, I'm sure you did.
Your guards were horrifying. I have to tell you how the audience that. They're like, what's his name? Johnny. His guards are horrifying. 3 hook-like creatures.
So,
and they were all suffers, too. I wonder why.
If you could have done maybe a shot of Jack Daniels, that would have settled your nerves down a little bit?
No, I had Xanax in my system, which is better than that.
Oh, really? Well, I'm thinking maybe the Jack Daniels wouldn't have been as sedating as the Xanax.
No, I thought his guards were going to attack me when I walked over to him. They were horrifying, but luckily he pulled them off me. I mean, they were mean-looking mother effers. I'm sorry, Sal, I didn't mean to offend you, but they were really horrifying.
Well, that's what he wants. He wants them to project that image and let people know that, he's off limits, and that's the way it should be.
Well, it's not that I'm off limits. It's just that there's so many crazy mother effers out there.
Well, that's what I mean.
For whatever reason, it have some sort of hard-on for me. I don't know what it is. But, if I'm going to be someplace public, I have to have some sort of,
Because you have the cure for hair loss, and you won't let everybody know it.
Apparently, yeah, I have the cure, and I'm also holding on to things so tightly because I'm so afraid that if something happens to the hair transplant industry, I'm going to go broke.
Exactly.
And that's when I read that, it's, I guess I have to laugh. It's so ridiculous that people actually can believe that. You know how long I've been doing this? I've been doing what I do for a very long time. And if I had to continue to depend on, the IHRS and as far as making a living, it would be ridiculous. When I think about that.
Something like Allergan came on the Google, a lot of hair. They'd pay you millions of dollars up front to advertise their product. I mean, I agree with you 100%. These people are stupid who still make these statements.
It would be so much. It would actually be so much easier for me.
You'll be the spokesperson. It's obvious.
Why do you think I have Histogen on? Why do you think I have Replicel on? You know how easy it's going to be once this happens. Everything changes, not just for me personally, but for the world. That's what I want.
Because 3% of people now seek treatment. 3 to 5% of people. Imagine something really works. You'll have 90% of people seeking treatment. Your income will go up 1,000-fold. These people must be either ignorant or insane. I don't know.
Your lips to God's ears, Joe. Your lips to God's ears. And when that happens, I'm paying for the Vegas trip for all of us.
Well, it's a shame that you can't enjoy your life without having, bodyguards. That's just, that's insane. It's terrible that you have to do that.
Well, I wouldn't do that. I don't need that. I don't. No.
I was even scared.
I don't need that to go.
Guys, I'm ex-law enforcement.
Give me a second, Joe. I don't need that to go out in the street. I don't need that to go to the mall. I don't need that. Except I had this really interesting incident, and I think I told you guys, where a fan, I was hanging out with Common Law. I was in a local mall here, and there was this guy in like a Jazzy or a Rasco, whatever you want to call them. It's kind of like one of those things, those that you ride, when you can't walk. What are those called?
Hover-rounds?
Yeah, hover-rounds, whatever it is. Really nice guy. Don't get me wrong. He was very friendly and everything. But all of a sudden, this guy staring at me, and he kind of starts rolling, riding around our table. I'm like, what the fuck is this? And he stops, and he's like, he stops, and he goes, "Are you Spencer K? Are you Spencer K?" And I'm like, "Who are you?" And then he was extremely friendly, and he was a longtime fan of the show. He used to listen to me here in Los Angeles when I was on 97.1 FM, KLSX. And he kind of lost track of the show, but he remembered me, and it was fascinating. He may be watching now. I hope that he is, or listening. But that's the kind of shit that I get. So I never really feel threatened in the street. But in this particular case, there was going to be a lot of, there's a lot of hype about it. A lot of, Andrew was talking about it. Other guys were promoting it, and I felt, you know what? There's a lot of craziness going on online right now, at least in my life.
Well, Spencer, I want to thank you for pulling those guys off of me, because I thought I might have been.
First of all,
hurt. I was kind of afraid.
Johnny, he's exaggerating.
They're horrifying.
He's exaggerating. He's making a joke of it. You're making a joke of the whole thing.
No,
You're exaggerating.
They were.
No one pulled it.
I don't think they were.
Well, in his state of mind, they probably were.
Yeah. Listen, everyone was looking at you strangely, Joe. It wasn't just the guards.
Well, I kind of stuck out in the crowd. Let's put it that way.
No, you did. You were okay, man. It was really great to see you, honestly, and I think everyone was really impressed by you, and they were just, they didn't realize that you were quite as normal as you are.
Well, I signed over
what did
50
you think of
autographs.
Blog
You
World?
probably know.
Say that again?
Joe, what did
I
you
signed
think of
several
Blog World?
autographs, so you probably know.
I'm sorry. I interrupted.
Go ahead, Joe. Go ahead.
Spencer, you hear me?
Yes.
I said I signed several autographs, as you probably know. Did you like the surgical mask, or you didn't like that at all?
You know what? I will tell you that it gave me the creeps a little bit. I knew you, so I wasn't quite as creeped out as I think somebody else who was just walking by the booth might have been.
Yeah.
But I could kind of tell when we were doing some interviews. I think the people from Barefoot Wine, which is like one of the biggest selling wines, if not the biggest selling wine right now in the country, were there. They were being interviewed by Andrew. And I just remember the look on this dude's face when you walked by the booth. He was mortified.
Oh, so you were signing autographs, Joe?
I did sign a few. Not many. Spencer's mob is like the mob around Spencer, He didn't
Well, listen, ladies. Joe, I appreciate all that. I'm going to have to sign off because I actually have to get out of here early tonight.
Before you do, Spencer, Joe, I'm going to say a prayer for you. I hope that this.
I appreciate that, Johnny.
What you have with your pancreas, I hope it's something very minor, and I'll be thinking of you.
Well, can I say this quickly?
Yes.
It can never be as serious as my hair loss. That's all I can say.
Well.
Joe, let me tell you something. If God forbid something is serious, and I hope that it isn't, I'm not even going to say you're going to think differently because you may not. But we all hope for the best, and we're thinking about you, Joe. All right?
Yes.
I just did want to say this. If I do pass away, guys, just want to memorialize you, Spencer, every week. Just leave that, my name is Joe. Once in a while, play that.
Joe, I give you my word. If something like this happens to you, I will certainly do that for you. But let's not talk about that.
Appreciate that.
No, you know what? That's not even something we're even going to consider.
What?
We're not even going to consider you passing, so how's that?
Well, I don't care. But next week, you'll be on the air, Spencer, this time again?
Absolutely. Every Tuesday,
8
8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific time, same place, same time. Obviously, stickcam.com, Ustream, Justin TV. Actually, we do have YouTube access now, which I'm going to have to try to figure out, get us on YouTube Live as well through GFQ Network, guysfromqueens.com or gfqlive.tv. And, of course, through the Ball Truth, iTunes Radio, Stitcher Radio, all the major live streaming and on-demand online resources. And we're growing a lot this year, so we're going to tell you about a couple of more places you can listen to us and watch us as well.
All right, Joe? This next week.
What'd you say?
Will we hear this new announcement next week? Will you watch more, or they'll be coming out later on?
No, we'll tell you some stuff next week.
Okay, and by the way, I want to audition to be new houseboy. Maybe work something out.
Well, it depends. You're gonna have to wear something very scant. You're gonna have to be scantily clad if you're gonna hang around common law because you need something to look at.
Well, happy 4th of July to everyone, and you too, Spencer.
All right, guys.
You are the best. You're the best, and God bless you, Johnny. You're definitely an access to the Ball Truth, and you're the best. I hope to meet you next year, maybe at Blog World, Johnny. You're a good boy.
All right, guys.
Well, I'd like to meet you sometime, Joe. Take care, guys.
All right, take care. Brush your hair. Take it easy.
Good night. Good night, Spencer.
Good night. 888. I'm not going to give out the number again, guys. I want to thank you for taking the time to listen and to hang out with us on our new Tuesday night time slot. Again, back next week, same time, same place, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific time here on the West Coast. Until next time, let me go out the website, theballtruth.com. If you want to interact with other hair loss sufferers, check out balltruthtalk.com message forums. If you're a woman dealing with hair loss, please check out womenshairlossproject.com. Until next time, be strong, God bless, and thank you so much for listening.
Thank you very much. I'm sorry for any inconvenience you may have been put to prior to the program, and I'm glad you enjoyed it. And if you could now leave by the exits at the rear, that'd be splendid. Thank you.